I think a very good question I had when I was growing up and coming out of college is, how do I serve God? Any job you have, you can serve God. I'd sold my business in 2003. What do we do now?
At that time, I was still very engaged in my previous business, which was building ethanol plants with my brothers. Working a lot of hours, but determined I wanted to be in part of a Bible study group.
It was a group of entrepreneur businessmen who got together, and we were studying different chapters of the Bible.
I think it was Steve Janker's idea. Let's do a study on purpose-driven life.
Purpose-Driven Life book written by Rick Warren was all the rage back in those days. He says, I challenge you to talk with your pastor and begin a Kingdom Builders group in your church. And I just remember at the end of that Bible study, Steve Janker kind of looked at us and he said, I wonder if we could do that.
It really made us think about, our lives and does your life matter? And, when you go through life and then you're done, did you do any good? Did you help anybody?
Are we meant to just be wealth builders, or is there more than that? And we really felt that we really wanted to build the kingdom.
We decided in 2006 to start the application process for what became called Kingdom Capital Fund.
I think it was then that the reality of what we were trying to commit to all of a sudden became significant. Like, we don't know. We got a lot of questions that need answers, but we started.
And then we were denied once, twice, 3 times. It took 2 years to finally get the approval from the IRS in 2008.
People got excited about it.
Things were really rolling well. Business was good. Everybody was firing on all cylinders.
And then the Great Recession hit.
The signs were everywhere, but now it's official, we are in a recession.
The whole country seemed to fall apart, and our group was no exception.
Okay, this is going to be really hard to find a way to do something with this.
We were stumbling. What do we do? Everybody's worrying about what they do themselves.
It really stalled out Kingdom Capital for a number of years even. It just sat dormant.
Jim has walked beside Kingdom Capital, Jim Brown, and he called us together and he kind of gave us a holy kick in the pants. Just because the world's upside down right now, does that mean that he's released you from the calling? And I kind of had to pick myself up. Things were falling apart, and Dan found a project up on Lake Madison called Sunset Harbor.
It was a piece of property that a developer had bought and had started the project, and then things didn't work out, so the bank ended up taking that property back.
And we did a lot of praying. I remember doing a lot of praying as a group and individually too about that. Okay, we really want to bite this off.
We gathered our friends and families and had a nice lunch, about 30 people in the room that day, and we prayed about it together and told folks what we were doing. And at the end of that lunch, we had $650,000 committed, mostly from our moms, but that worked.
As we completed the project, we were able to sell units, and then when we sold those units, of course, we made money on it. There was some bare land that came with it, and we turned around and started some twin homes up there. So the ball kept rolling that way. So something that we had hoped to make a couple $100,000 on, we raised well over $1 million on that first project.
I think that was the thing, that was the spark that really took us away from our discouragement.
But it came together and it became the greatest thing we'd ever done up to that point. It was a project that brought a lot of attention from the whole Sioux Falls community.
It emboldened us to, do more.
We felt like we could add value on the donor side of things, like we could take the gifts of time, talent, and treasure and multiply them through profit using the Sunset Harbor example.
One person does what they can with their talent. Another person does what they can with their treasure. Another person does something with their time. So it's like in the business world, when you have good talent and people want to give time and you have enough financial resources to make something happen that people want, it multiplies the impact and the earnings are amazing.
So we're connecting the right people. We're seeing God multiply it. But now comes the fun part of partnering with the ministries. And we think that's the most important part of Kingdom Capital.
Today, Kingdom Capital Fund has distributed over $7 million in grants to over 50 ministries in 7 different countries.
Our whole goal is to help people so that they turn around and give the Lord thanks.
God is bringing many others together, and we feel we can do even more together than we've ever done in the past.
I just hope that there's a springboard that's been laid. And I hope this ministry will just honor God until Christ comes back.
We were inviting more people in different ways to take part of this. Work is worship. As you look at how God has ordained us and called us from beginning of Genesis to the end of time, work is a very beautiful thing in the eyes of the Lord, whatever you're called to do. And if you're doing it for the purpose of God and glorifying God, you'll find great purpose in that.